What's up, my fellow crypto brothers and sisters? Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and click the bell icon. This is the bell icon right here. Are you ready for this? That's the sound of the bell icon. You have to click it. If you don't click it, you're not going to get all notifications to know when you can see my beautiful face live on YouTube, right here on the YouTubes. Guys, I hope you've been having a good weekend. The market has really started to pick up, in the past couple days here. And I think what I want to do is, this is going to be a fairly quick live stream. This is not going to be a very long live stream. I want to update you on a few key items to be watching for moving forward. I'm also going to give you my honest thoughts in terms of where we're at in the market, and also maybe some big picture perspective thoughts I had kind of coming into the live stream. I'll share with you. Let me see who's in the live stream. Juan, you are always here. You're the first person on this live stream consistently commenting in the comment box. I do appreciate that. I mean, brother, I don't know, but does it really matter if you're invested in this market? Does it really matter if we see some sort of a drop? In the next week? Sorry, I ate dinner right before the live stream. Does it really matter in the grand scheme of things if things from a macro perspective are beginning to look really bullish and the signs are pointing towards potential larger upside in the coming months if we drop in the next week? I don't think it really matters, my friend. Todd, welcome in. Glad to see you in here, my friend. Why is your ex name screaming? Oh, I don't know. You know what happened? I added my professional credentials in here. You want to know why I did that? Because I was scrolling through and I was seeing all these other people and putting their little chartist acronyms after their names, their designations, which is great. And I was like, well, fuck that. I don't have any chartist acronyms, but I worked 10 years to get these credentials and they're legit. So I'm gonna fucking put them there. Slow grind up or a God candle coming? Great question. Let's discuss. So if we're going to look at the immediate price action right now, guys, we have finally, this is an area that I've been talking about for months, okay? We are finally in the blue area, which is above $68,000. A big pat on the back. If you've been here, if you stayed in the market, you know, we had this big capitulation down here. Peter Schiff was taking victory laps. I don't know if you saw my post today. Let's take a look at my post. So this is the original post. So back in August, okay, this was early August of this year, Peter Schiff hosted a X Spaces. And on the X Spaces, he was literally taking victory laps for the 5,000th time on the death of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was going to zero. The market was going to hell. Everything, right? And for some reason, someone promoted me as a speaker. I don't know why. But they saw Crypto Bull God, and they thought that would be a great opportunity to bring up somebody from the crypto area. So I came up and kind of gave my spiel, and based on what I shared in that Spaces, I said, essentially what I said was, this is very premature. I have a very macro perspective that going into the end of this year, into 2025, based on the global liquidity cycle, you're going to see Bitcoin at new all-time highs before the end of the year. So can we do another Spaces in the fourth quarter? So I wanted to remind Peter Schiff, now that we're pressing up against $70,000, I would like to remind Peter Schiff that he really needs to do another Twitter Spaces. Whether he can do it this month, he can do it in November, he can do it December. But guys, really, seriously, I mean this. A big pat on the back if you didn't get weeded out by this bullshit volatility, right? It's always easy in hindsight to look at the charts and say, oh, well, that was obvious. The chart was doing this and the chart was doing that. In the moment, In the moment, it is very difficult, a lot more difficult to ascertain what is going on, because what's happening in the moment is your emotions are feeding into your view of what's going on. Now, if you're a very well-versed investor or a very well-versed trader, that stuff doesn't impact you as much. For people who are a little bit newer to the market, though, even if you've been in for a couple years, it can really impact you, okay? So it's a lot easier in hindsight to look in the past and say, oh, that was so obvious. Right now, it isn't so obvious, and so I've really tried to keep you in the game, and I've never professed, guys, and I never will. I never will. There are certain things about what I speak to that I'm going to get incorrect, okay? And there are certain things that I'm going to speak to that I will get correct. That's true of any technical analyst, even the ones on Twitter or X who have the largest following. Some of them have had horrendously terrible calls, right? But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is my analysis adding value to your overall view of the market and your investment philosophy? That you have to answer that question for yourself. But for right now, look, guys, this is actually the daily, and what we're beginning to see on the daily, typically we look at the 12-hour, okay? This is the 12-hour. We've gotten the golden cross. Because we've gotten the bullish momentum on the golden cross, not the golden shower, what that has lended itself to, thumbs up. Guys, come on, give me a little bit of more fucking engagement here. I got a few people watching here, and less than half that have actually hit the thumbs up. So try to hit the like button for me. Don't try, actually do it. This is the daily price action right here, and what you can see is we're beginning to see the 50 curl up towards the 200. We don't need some sort of fancy algorithm to figure this out for us. As long as price action continues in its relative trajectory, what we can anticipate is we're going to see a cross up by next weekend, okay? And that's very bullish. If we go back in time, anytime we've had a death cross like this and then a golden cross, you can see here the same thing happened, and you can see what happened with price, right? Here, and then you can see what happened with price. Here, and then you can see what happened with price, and we can go on and so on and so on. So if we can get this golden cross by the end of the week, that is very significant. Now that we're up at 68,000, one of the things I wanted to level set you on, I told you this is the area. I've been promoting this on my channel, speaking to it, that $68,000 is the main area you want to watch for to hold this price confluence. Thank you for the engagement, by the way. I do appreciate it. However, to get technical, the area you really want to watch for is here at 70,000, 69,900. You got to take out this prior all-time high, this prior swing high. Because once you do that and you come up to this area and you start to consolidate here, you've invalidated this lower high and this lower high. Now we just need to take out this lower high at $72,000. Remember, what we want to look for on this chart is very consistent with everything we've evaluated when we've charted. If you've been on this channel for a long time, one of the most basic premises is you want to establish price action that is indicative of higher highs and higher lows. And those higher highs are beginning to take out the lower highs, right? We took out the lower high here from this guy here. Now we want to take out this guy here. Then we want to take out this guy here. It's just a systematic step-by-step process, okay? It might sound boring, but that's really what we need to watch for. The other thing that's really interesting here that I was observing on this chart that lends credence to this being a true reversal to the upside. Anybody notice how this is sort of like a rounding bottom? You see how we're coming up here? Okay. So maybe we come back down. Maybe we come back down to 66, 65, and then continue moving up. We're starting to form a trajectory that's beginning to look a little parabolic-esque. Okay? Too early to tell right now, but at least has those sort of, it's like a hurricane developing, right? A hurricane developing, which I'm all too familiar with. You're seeing the early signs of a hurricane developing, and it's too early to call, but the signs are there that it's looking pretty probable that you're going to see something parabolic, okay? What we want to watch for now, okay, now that we've maintained price action and we've confirmed $68,000 to support, we want to start to break above $70,000. Guys, if we break down below 68,000, it's not the end of the world. Remember, when we were down here, I said, hey, guys, keep perspective. We got all these higher lows coming in. So it's very possible we could come all the way back down here to maybe 63, touch somewhere in between the 50 to 200 again before resuming up. I think that's a very real possibility. Anywhere between 61.8 and 63.8, I think, is a very real possibility. But very, very bullish price action. Now, the thing we have to pay more attention to, we got to get off the low time frames. The thing that I've quite often spoken to on this channel is that the higher time frames matter a lot more than the lower time frames, right? And the reason for that, simplistically stated, is you have more price action encompassed within each candlestick. So it lends itself to a more credible view of everything. Guys, you could not ask for a more bullish candlestick, right? You don't need to know technical analysis. What is this candlestick? This thing has it's one green dildo. There's no wick on this thing. There's no wick. Okay? What it's saying is it's opened and it opened at a certain level and has now closed at the highest level it's been the entire week. Guys, you could not ask for a more bullish candlestick. And we're pressed right up against $69,000 here. Okay? This is a bullish engulfing candle relative to here. Very, very, very bullish price action going on here. We have not seen a close above this $69,000 area since way back here in June of 2020, June of this year, okay? This is the last time we saw a close above this red line right here, okay? $69,000. We are at $69,667. So whether we close at $68,977 or $69,067, to me it doesn't matter. The shape of this candlestick is monumentally bullish. The other thing I'd like to point out to you is that the RSI is beginning to pick up closer and closer to 70. This bullish price action has resulted in the RSI not only convincingly clearing above 54, but it's also now beginning to close on 70. And we know from times past, when the RSI gets above 70, that's when we start to see the biggest explosive price action in the chart. Check out the MACD, right? Guys, I'm not going to do this right now. We've looked at it before. Every time we've been above this zero trigger line right here, and we've gotten a positive cross, positive cross, positive cross, a positive cross. Ooh, I remember this very well. Positive cross. It has always, okay, without failure, always resulted in significant upside, right? Again, if you are willing to entertain the thought, okay, that you should put your emotions aside, which seems very non-human, right? Be robotic and just evaluate the data is telling you more and more and more increasingly here. The more views I look at with you guys, the data is telling you that number go up, okay? Not number go down, number go up. Stochastic RSI looks great. Now, this is an interesting view here. If we take a look at the 2-week chart, this was something I put together shortly before the live stream. Not only were we beginning to see a flattening up and a crossing up on the MACD, which, again, because this is a higher time frame on the 2-week chart, this spells even more credence to the idea that we're going to be going up if you look at history here once we get a positive cross. Not only that, you got this stochastic RSI above 20. We've spent time talking about that. We're not even going to look at the RSI. Let's just focus on the stochastic RSI. Now, what I've done here is in the times past. Now, we just looked at this. There were 9 occurrences we looked at. 1 was a fake out. Only 1 was a fake out, right? And essentially what I've done is I've looked at the average periods here, okay, the average periods here, in terms of when we got a bullish cross and how much time it took for us to sort of top out, get some sort of big momentum push in the price. And what I found was this. If we use history just based on this one indicator, again, there's no one indicator that tells us with certainty anything, but if we use this one indicator, what it tells us is this. We can expect now, because on the 2-week Bitcoin chart, the stochastic RSI has crossed above 20, that we could see Bitcoin's price potentially topping out anywhere between March of next year and October of next year. Now, again, I've said this so many different times. There's not a lot of price data on Bitcoin, right? And the more price that develops, data people don't realize this or don't understand this. So I'm trying to explain this in as layman's terms as possible. Because there's such a finite amount of data, not a lot of data, the more we continue moving forward and developing more and more data, the more confident we can feel, more convicted we can feel with our conclusions, right? The other thing that is that we have to acknowledge is because we're so early on, there's a higher degree of variability. So just because I'm pointing out here that this one view tells us Bitcoin is going to top right in between here, because the data is so immature, who knows? Maybe it tops fucking here. Maybe it tops somewhere out here, right? The data is very immature, but all we can do is rely on the data. And the data is telling us on this view that Bitcoin will top between March and October of next year. That is what it's telling us. Very, very interesting view that I put together right before the live stream. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to take a look at the comments here and see who is joining me on a Sunday night live stream. Go Birds! Finally, a convincing win over the New York Giants, or should I say the New Jersey Giants. Guys, if you're a Giants fan, your stadium is in the Meadowlands. It's in fucking New Jersey, yet you're called the New York Giants. Like, it's not even a real team, all right? Anyway, fuck the New York Giants. We are in a rising wedge here on the Bitcoin dominance chart. We know from past history that when this thing begins to roll over, as it should most likely, that is going to spell an altcoin season, and it's going to spell at some point in relative fashion when we can expect a topping within the market, okay? So nothing really has changed here. Now, I did want to take a look at Caspa. I was taking a fresh view at Caspa right before the live stream, taking a look at the weekly chart. So let's have an honest conversation about Caspa. I just gave an extensive analysis the other day. A couple things I would point out here. The first thing is you cannot lose sight. You have an ascending line of support here, okay? You typically want at least 3 touches. So you got touches here. You have the higher lows coming in, right? But price, if I had to describe price for you right now for Caspa, very lackluster, right? It was a very exciting project to be in back here. And if you got in late, it's done nothing. It's just gone sideways, right? And we're essentially, what I'm trying to illustrate to you here is we're right in between this box. That's all we've been doing, right? And as long as we don't break down below the box, we're fine, right? Now, the bottom of this box, I mean, technically, you could actually put it down here at 10.6 cents. So as long as we don't start breaking down below the 10-cent area, we're fine, all right? But the reality is there is a lot of weakness in this chart. If you look at the MACD, there's descending resistance here. We need Caspa to show us what it is made of. There is a reason I've called this a unicorn project, It's my largest altcoin holding for a reason, okay? The technicals and the fundamentals, and it is rare to find both. However, on this channel, I keep things 100% real with you, and right now, there's weakness on this chart. We got to turn this shit around. We've been doing these lower highs on here. Look at this, all right? We need to break up and start breaking out in the MACD here, okay? Look at the relative strength index. Again, look at the descending resistance here. What this is telling us, if we look at the relative strength index on the weekly on Caspa, is even as price has gone higher, the strength within the price movement has been weaker. We need Caspa to fucking flex and show us if it has balls, all right? Do I think that Caspa has balls? I think Caspa's got some big balls, some big gonads on it, all right? But it has to prove us that. I can't just come out here and tell you I'm not an influencer. I'm not going to come out here and hype a project if the chart looks like shit, okay? If I was out here promoting Casper, please feel free to tune off my channel. The chart looks like garbage. It looks like a dumpster fire. This chart is still strong, but in relatively the past, 6-7 months, it's expressed a moderate degree of weakness, a moderate to high degree of weakness. It's got to turn around. It's got to show me something. I'm all about the charts on this channel. This relative strength index needs to bottom out in this relative area and start breaking descending resistance and start going a lot higher. Because right now, I got to tell you, this chart has a lot, as strong as this chart has been, when you zoom out on a macro perspective, this chart is monumentally bullish when you zoom out.
Bucks on Fly Eagles Fly.
Wow. What just happened there?
From the top. From the top.
Defensively, if they just
I have no idea what just happened. Wow. When your computer just decides to go fucking ballistic on you. Okay, so anyway, I don't know what just happened. I was on Twitter right before here, and apparently it just decided to start playing a video I was listening to. Go, fly, Eagles, fly. Anyway, let's get back to the charts here. What I'm saying is when you zoom out macro perspective on Caspa, it's very bullish, right? But in this immediate time frame right here, guys, you can't argue. The price has been very weak. We just looked at not only the price data, but the price indicators. Very weak in here. Pick it the fuck up. Show me what you're made of. I believe in this project. This is one of the very few projects from a fundamental perspective I think I might have shared with you. If I haven't shared the audio messages with you, I've at least spoken to it. I left audio messages for my brother telling him, hey, do your own due diligence. But man, this is the first project I've ever researched that gives me Bitcoin vibes. Been in the space since 17. It's the first project I've ever read about that gives me Bitcoin vibes. And you got strong technicals. I very much believe in this project. But the chart has to fucking show me something. Pick it the fuck up, Caspa. That's what I would say. All right, who do we have in the live stream here? Wojak's looking phenomenal. We charted it recently. If I have it up, we'll take a quick look. If not, I've charted it enough. All these meme coins. Guys, that's something else I wanted to hit on. It's becoming increasingly, and I try to tell you guys, it has become increasingly apparent to me that meme coins are the narrative for this cycle. And if you're not in meme coins, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I've been trying to tell you that you should have never financial advice, but you should have some portion of your portfolio on meme coins. This is coming from a guy that never would have touched them a few years ago. Wojak has higher highs and higher lows. It looks great. There's nothing else to say. I actually purchased my first. I got a little bit into MOG today. So I own a little bit of MOG. No TA Q&A today. No TNA Q and no TNA TA Q&A today, guys. This gas payoff is coming. Patience often is rewarded. Close above 70,000. I don't think we're going to close above 70,000, but to your point, I think what you're trying to say is when we get to close above 70,000, I would agree. I do not have any KRC20 tokens. The only one I seriously considered swapping out some CAS for was Nacho. I did not. I have not. I have a chart up here because I've debated if I wanted to or not. Let me pull up the chart of Nacho. We'll take a look at it real quick. I was looking at Casper as well, but I think saying that name gives me chills because of how horrible the Casper project has been. But I have charted this out because I've considered taking a position. If I do, I'm waiting to come back to this line here. This line is major support. Forget the corrections here. The whole point is this was prior price confluence right here. So if we come down to this area, yeah, I'll consider swapping out some of my Caspa for Nacho, but I haven't. All I've done is accumulate the fuck out of Caspa. I have not sold a single amount. So, and the thing you have to realize about the meme coins, guys, is you can't fight a narrative. If you fight a narrative, you hate making money. I don't know how else to say it. Part of your success in this market is realizing where the money's flowing. The money is flowing towards the narrative. So you got to understand the narrative. It's pretty straightforward. We are charting Nacho. What other memes can I do research on? When I'm on Shark Cat, Pepe, and Wojak. Guys, you know the crypto meme triple threat with Brett and Wojak. Those are my three main meme holdings. The only other memes that I hold at the moment, which are smaller positions, Wen and Mog. I think those are the only two. I think I own a little bit of Sundog on Tron. But again, there's small amounts. So these are the three main memes I have, though. Guys, I think that's going to do it. I just wanted to give you an update on the market. Things are really turning around. One quick thing before you tune out. One quick thing. I am traveling this week. I shared that with you before. So I'm traveling this week. Wednesday's a no-go. I'm not going to be here Wednesday, unfortunately. I'm going to fuck around with doing live streams on my laptop and maybe doing them on X Spaces. So make sure that you just stay current with me on X to see if I'm going to be on YouTube or if I'm going to be on Twitter or what the heck I'm doing. But I'll keep you updated in terms of what's going on in the market. I firmly believe, and I've been saying this for a long time, I firmly believe we're entering a very exciting part of the market where things are really going to start to pick up going into November. I've been saying that for a while now. So we shall see if I'm correct on that. But until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Take care. Get your week off to a good start. I'll see you back here tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll see you back here on Tuesday.